Okay, so this continuation of our performing DML operations on the table using PL/SQL. So last time we have seen how do we perform the insert as well as update. Okay, so now what is pending is deletion logic. So deletion is quite easy here. We just need to know the selection. I mean, we just need to know which row user has selected, and based on that we have to call the delete API. Okay, so we'll just do that. So it can be either single selection or multi-selection, depends on the requirement. Okay. So for any time, whenever you want to have a selection within a table region, so we always require an attribute. Okay. So in our case, see one more thing. Let us say if you have a selection for the purpose of storing the data in database table, then you have the appropriate component. Now in our case, we just have the transient attribute because it does not need to store in the database. That's the reason we are using a transient attribute.
Yeah.
Select flag, updatable always, apply, okay. EMP using PL/SQL view. In the table region, new. Oh, did we use it already? EMP.
Yeah, multiple sections created. See.
Sorry, this is a different one. Sorry. EMP DML using EO, right? EMP DML using PL/SQL. Yeah, this is one.
Okay.
Yeah, multiple selection. Yeah. EMP using PL/SQL Vivo. Yeah. Okay, and the same way will have the deletion also. Delete button. New item.
Okay.
Delete. Okay. So now we just need to call our delete API. So in this API, we have a delete EMP procedure. So let's see that. Okay. So logic wise, again, like we have to call a PL/SQL API, right? So what we have to do is, so we can just write this logic here somewhere. Public void delete EMP records using PL/SQL. So we have to get all the rows wherever the flag value is Y.
Filtered rows.
Yeah. Okay. So if rows length is greater than 0, then only enter into the loop.
Yeah.
Okay. So row is equal to rows of I, and also we require a temporary variable to get the EMP number, because we have to pass this variable to value to the database.
Okay.
Now here, first of all, we need to delete it from the, so before that, after assigning, you delete it, okay? Once we assign to a variable, then we can just mention delete row.remove. This row.remove will remove the row from the Vivo, but that is not enough. We have to remove the row from the database also. Okay. So at this point of time, we just need to call our, the JDBC stuff, like callable statement, everything. So first of all, we have to know the signature of the API.
Okay.
Yeah. So here, procedure delete underscore emp and this variable. Okay. So first of all, let us prepare the callable statement logic. So this is just as similar to the thing which we designed last time, but we don't require all these parameters. Yeah. So we can just copy this one. So here, delete emp and the parameter. Make sure the parameter name should match, else it may have an issue. Yeah. So till this part, just same, and just delete this one. Okay.
It should be a single code there.
Where?
Okay. I think we are good.
Yeah. And then now callable statement dot set int. So we have to use set int, and what is the value? Set int 1 comma emp number dot int value. Okay. And then callable statement dot execute. There are no out parameters, so that we can just ignore them. And if you observe here, it is just giving a red color line for these two. I mean, it is giving error for these two lines, right? The reason is this callable statement API requires a try and catch block. So just see this one. It just says surround with try and catch. Okay.
Oh.
So for this also it is giving error. So don't try it one more try and catch block. Just simply keep this particular other statement in the try and catch block. That will be enough. And then finally perform the commit. Get OADB transaction and perform the commit after the for loop. That will be better, right? Now our for loop is ending at this place.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we got some extra stuff. This is my for loop and this try and catch block. Then this is okay. This is for catch block. Okay.
So Sri, we said callable statement dot set int, right? So is that only for integer or?
See, in a PL SQL, you just have only one data type, which is a number, right?
Okay.
So, but in Java, we have different data types for a single number. I mean to say, the thing is,
Okay.
generally, let us say, in normal scenario, let us say we generally call, let us say if the value is 100, there's nothing but a number, right? Just generally, in general terminology. So now, in SQL or maybe a PL SQL, whenever you want to declare a variable with number, you just use number data type, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the Java, the problem is for number data type, we have three data types. One is int, other one is Oracle JBO domain number, and other one is java.util.number.
Okay.
So we have three data types. And basically one more thing is like if you are aware, Java is not 100% OOPS oriented programming language. The reason is there are some data types which are not class data types.
Yeah.
This integer
Primitives.
doesn't have any object, but Oracle JVM domain, it's a class data type. It will have an object, right? And even java.util also. So,
Okay.
but the thing is, this Oracle JBO domain is a special one which is used in the OAF as well as ADF. But this java.util is a normal core Java stuff. This is a normal Java stuff which will be used across different frameworks. But this particular JBO domain is specially in our OAF and ADF, not in other frameworks, because
Okay.
it's a proprietary one. It's Oracle specific data type. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, just perform the commit. And also one more thing, whenever you're writing any program, if you have any confusion to find out, okay, where is my end and where is my starting, just place your braces there, and you can, like press Alt flower braces, it will automatically go there. Your cursor will go to the end of that particular block. Start and Alt, you can just use the appropriate one, either open or the close. So we
Okay. Yeah.
So just need to call this one. So from here we'll just call. Okay. Yeah, let's start. Okay. So let's try to delete employee number 3. So one more thing, like here it is not showing the data in order by fashion, right? So it all depends upon how we wrote our query, right? So if you want to order by default, better we have to write in the order, order by functionality within the query. So click on next.
Okay.
Now click on 3 and just delete this.
Okay.
Removed rows successfully. Let us see here. Got it?
Yeah.
It got deleted.
Yeah.
Got deleted. And let us try without selecting rows. Click on delete. Please select the rows for deletion. Okay. So this is how we can handle. So the only problem what we had here is the updation. So instead of updating a single row, it is updating all the rows, right? That's the drawback of this particular logic. Remaining, it is just perfect. Remaining wise, it's literally perfect. So let us see how do we overcome this particular functionality. Okay.
Okay.
So within this, anyway, we cannot do anything, but we have another approach for performing like to overcome this particular functionality. So what do we know? What we need to do is, let us see that. So anyway, we have to use a PL SQL API. That is there. The only thing is, what is other approach to deal so that efficiently we can perform update. So in this sample, what we have used, like we just used EMP Vivo, and based on that we called our API, PL SQL API. So other logic, what we will try to introduce is, we'll use same Vivo concept, but this Vivo will be based on entity, but this entity will extend OAPL SQL entity IMPL. This will extend OAPL SQL entity IMPL, and then again still we use the PL SQL API. So this will be the approach. So what we're trying to do is, we are trying to introduce the EVO again. We are trying to introduce the EVO again so that we have a row level capability. Nothing but like EVO can recognize, or it can sense the rows automatically. It will clearly know that which row has inserted, which row is updated, which row is for ready for deletion. Everything it will know.
Okay.
Okay, that's the advantage of this particular functionality. So, but generally, like if you consider, like what is the difference between our earlier EVO and this EVO is, here if you observe, the earlier EVOs, we have extended, by default that will extend your OA entity IMPL. If we see the existing EVO IMPL, these were extending OA entity IMPL. But in our case, what we do is, it is also EVO, but it will extend OAPL SQL entity. That's the only difference.
So this is not based on table view or synonym materialized view?
Everything is same again. Everything is same again. Only difference is, it will extend OAPL SQL entity. Everything is same. The way you create, the way it depends, everything is same.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
So let us implement this. So now, yeah, we'll just try to work in this only. So schema server package, click on new entity object, EMP. I'll just say OAPL SQL, OAPL SQL. Let us write PL SQL EVO. Okay.
Yeah.
EMP. Next. 1 minute. Yeah, package is correct. Okay. So we require these all methods: create, remove, the DML method. We require all those things. Anyway, we have to overwrite actually, but we'll see. If you observe here, we don't have any option to extend extend, see here, entity object class, the class name is this one, but it will still extend OA entity only. It will still extend OA entity only, because during this design time, you don't have any option to modify that. That's the first thing. Okay, so we can just ignore all these things, not required. Click on next. Now generate the Vivo object. EO Vivo, next, and finish. Okay, now assign the Vivo to the EMP OAPL equal EO Vivo. Apply and OK. Now one basic question, like as most of the developers will have it. Let us say, now in our case, the earlier Vivo and this Vivo, the only difference is just a Vivo name, right? Can't we copy the total stuff? Can't we copy the total code and can't we do it? See, copy paste approach, yes, is still possible. Now what you can do is just copy these two files, rename them appropriately, and rename this particular Vivo appropriately. That's it.
Okay.
That's how we need to do it. Okay. Because sometimes what may happen is, assume that you need to design 2 pages and 70% of the functionality or 70% of the components which are similar to the earlier page. So nobody prefers to redo it, right? Simply copy paste, we can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let us say web UI, new OA components page, EMP-DML using OAPL SQL, EVO page. Okay. Set the controller. Okay.
Yeah.
So new region using a wizard. EMP OAPL SQL, table region. Select all the columns and finish. Okay. The same way we require all the table actions like save, insert, and delete. New table actions. Item. So we require 3 buttons. Save and insert and delete. Okay. Yeah. Now the first thing is initialization logic. Initialization. So within the AMI-MPL, let's write the initialization logic for this particular Vivo.
Okay. So until now it is exactly the same as the previous one, right?
Yeah, until now, yes, it is same.
Except that we are using Evo instead of our query.
No, in this one, we are using Evo, but we have to modify that Evo logic also.
Okay.
EMP, OAPL SQL Evo Vivo, get EMP. Okay. So now let's call the initialization method. EMP OAPL SQL Evo Vivo. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So now what is the difference is, so we don't want to use the OA entity logic. We have to use our PL/SQL entity logic. So open the evo impl.java, emp oa PL/SQL evo. Now in this one, anyways, it is giving other error because of the hook columns. As of now, we can ignore that. So in this one, this extends, just change this one to OA PL/SQL entity. Okay.
Okay.
We are extending this one to OA PL/SQL entity MPL. Now see what is the error. So it just says that, yeah, anyway, implement this.
Okay.
Now just rebuild this one. Okay, no issues. But now what we have to do is just control click on this one, control click on OA PL/SQL entity IMPL, and here see there are three methods like delete row, insert row, and update row. Can you see?
Yeah.
You copy these methods, and within our custom entity IMPL, just copy them and make sure that they are public rather than protected. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now what we have to do, so what exactly it is doing is, it is not calling the Oracle provided Java APIs for the purpose of DML. It will explicitly call, it is providing us a provision that you do whatever you want. That's what. And
Okay.
in
Okay.
these methods, we have to write our custom logic. In these methods, we just need to write our custom logic.
Okay.
So the custom logic is nothing but get all the values, call our API. The same API, the same way we have to get it. But here, one more thing, like if you remember, entity will be called for each and every row, right? Whenever you modify, based on your updation. Let us say if you're inserting a new row, this will be called during insertion. If you're updating a row, it will be called for updation. The same way, like based on the functionality,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So Sri, what are the advantages of having this generally in regular implementations, right? In a real scenario, what additional logic would we write in these methods?
See, in these generally like in the entity IMPL, what we do is like we can also throw attribute level validation. I mean to say, let us say, assume that let us say you're inserting a new row, okay, and if the job type is
Okay.
salesman, the salary should not be greater than 1500. We can just raise an
Oh,
exception exactly at that particular column and row level. That is one of
yeah.
the
Okay.
that's one of the thing. Attribute, we call it as attribute level validation. That is the only thing.
Oh, entity. If it is based on entity, then it will not do the attribute level validations because these are all custom validations.
No, no.
Okay.
Entity also supports. I'm saying entity also supports entity. See, like, can you repeat your question? Maybe I'm thinking other thing.
My,
Yeah.
my question is here, what is the advantage of using this PL/SQL OA entity instead of our earlier logic where we directly use the OA entity IMPL, right?
So in this one, in this earlier logic, what was the issue? We have update issue, right? It was calling our update API every time, but in this one, it will not call in that way. It will just call only based on your real updation. Let us say if you have updated only one row, it will call only once. That's the difference here.
Okay, so if you don't use any PL/SQL API and if we build our EMP table region directly based on our EO, so just like we did earlier, right?
Yeah,
We directly have an EO, we have a VO, and we have the table region based on that VO.
yeah.
And in that case also, if you do some update, um, and if you do a save,
Mhm.
okay, there also, is it going to call for every row?
It depends upon the modification what you have done. Yes, it will call for every row. Let us say if you modified 5 rows, it will call the evo 5 times.
Okay, okay. Let's see. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
So now in this one, insert row, what is the logic we have to use it? The same thing, the same which we used earlier.
Okay.
You just need to get all the temporary variables, and so I'll just get that callable statement, right?
Yeah.
So this is the one which we use for the purpose of deletion, right? So we can use the same exact logic there also.
Okay.
Okay. So I am not coding again. So I'll just copy paste. So for the deletion, just call the delete API,
Okay. Yeah.
right? Instead of using, okay, let's say to get a EMP number, emp number, get emp number, that's it. Just write the get method, that's it. You'll get the emp number directly. Because emp impl,
Oh,
the evo impl will have the, it will be called for a given current row, right? So it does not need to mention row impl like that. Simply get
okay, okay,
get method for the your variable.
okay.
Okay. And the same way we'll call our update also. This is invoke insert, right? This is for the insertion. So we require these all temporary variables.
Okay.
In the both places we require. So a might be there. Yeah. So here we just need to change this logic. Okay. So but anyway, so till this part, getting all the values and calling the API, validating all of them, everything is same. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Till this part it is same. So let us start with this first. Yeah. Yeah. The only difference is don't mention row dot like this. Just mention the method name directly.
So
Okay.
if we use this approach tree, even for the insert, we don't have to track it using that new flag, right?
Nothing is required. That's advantage.
Oh,
That's a major advantage of this logic. I can easily track each and every
okay.
row. It does not need any special custom logic.
Okay.
This is for the insertion, and the same way you can try for the update. So in the update, the only difference is this method is different.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. So now let us write the remaining functionality in the AIM-IMPL for the Vivo level. So in the Vivo level, again, like we have to insert a row, deletion, everything we have to do at the Evo level. I mean the Vivo level only. That logic, yes, still we have to write.
Okay.
So I need to have Java row IMPL also. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
so let us write the remaining methods.
Yeah.
So as of now, we have just written only init method. So we have to write the logic for the insertion as well as deletion.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here, let us say we want to insert a new row in the first position. What we can do is just mention vivo.first, vivo.previous, and then vivo.insert.
Okay.
So this is how we try to do it.
Okay.
And the other thing is deletion. So for deletion again, like you have to know, right, which particular one you want to delete it. Single row or multi-selection.
Yeah.
So you have to have that particular select flag. We require that. emp oapl is equal. We require the transient attribute. Click on new, select flag. Right. So if you observe, everything is repeated. You don't find much speciality or different logic. Everything is same, right? Mostly.
See here, can we just remove data from the Vivo only?
Yes, we have to remove data from only Vivo. So we should not
Oh,
even,
because Vivo is automatic.
yeah, we should not call this particular PLC logic. The PL SQL logic will get called automatically.
Okay.
Right. So here what we do, delete emp rows for OA PL SQL EO VO. Okay. Now, yeah. So one is insert method, another one is delete method. Update anyway, we does not require the special method here. That will be taken care by the entity IMPL automatically. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
CNSI. Okay.
So can we write commit directly in the CO stream?
Yeah. See, generally we should not write, but if it is just commit
Okay.
on the only method, still we can do that.
Okay.
Sometimes you want to validate each and every row to validate appropriate amounts or the naming conventions or those kind of things. First of all, you have to validate, then only we have to call the commit. So in our case, as we don't have any validations, we're just simply calling the commit.
Commit. Okay.
So we require two conditions. Okay. Okay. Now, okay. Okay. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Save, insert, delete. That's it. Now, yeah. Let's run the page. Okay. So let's start with insert.
Okay.
And now it got inserted in the first position, right?
Yeah.
You can try again. Click on insert again, right? Now,
Yeah.
let's say 10, test 10, 11, test 11. Okay. You can just give 1200, 1500. Okay. So now the
Yeah.
expectation is observe the log also. When we click on save, the entity IMPL should be called twice, once for each insertion. Okay. So click on save.
Yeah.
Now just see here. Can you see inside insert row? Got it?
Yeah.
And you can also try
Yeah.
again. You can check it from database. It has to insert the two rows, right? Test 10 and 11. And the
Yeah.
same way, now let us say without doing any modification, just click on save and see what will happen. Let us say I will not change anything. Just click on save and see none of your method in the EO will get called. Okay?
Yeah, because you
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You
Now,
are replacing
yeah,
what is new.
now let us say I'll change two rows, clerk and clerk. Now what is the expectation? It has to call the update logic. Okay? So when I
Yes.
modify two rows, just click on save so that it will call our EO twice. Got it? Inside update row.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
So now we does not need to bother, which row is modified, which row is inserted. That's the advantage of this logic.
Okay.
And sorry, I think for deletion we missed that selection one. So let us do that.
Okay.
Maybe we can take multi-selection as of now.
Okay.
New instance, emp oapl equal, and select flag. Okay. So now run the page. Okay. Just click on delete without entering data, without doing any changes. Please select the row for deletion. Okay. And now we'll try to delete the data. Let us say we'll delete our test4. Okay. Now I'll clear the log. Click on delete, and yeah. So there could be some issue, right? Like it's still giving the same issue, right? The reason is maybe I think copy paste could be the mistake. Delete emp rows
Okay.
for OAPL equal evo vivo here. I hope we have not modified that, right? That's the issue.
Okay. PLC. Okay.
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 So this is not required. Yeah. Try again. Test4. Clear the log. Click on delete. So right, removed row successfully. And can you see inside delete row method? It's called only once.
Yes.
And you can
Yeah.
check in database also. Test4 has to be deleted, right?
Yeah.
So this is how we can perform. I mean, this is how we can use OAPL SQL entity IAPL. So the best thing is always prefer OAPL SQL if at all if you are working on a PL SQL API. But let us say if something is already done, there is no other way. Let us assume that it's already legacy application, much of the functionality, and it's already done. Everything is done. You just need to do some enhancement. Then the best thing is just go ahead with the existing one only.
Okay. So if that is not the case, then we can directly use the regular EO VO based logic, right?
Yeah,
If there is no PLC.
if there is no PL SQL involved, the best thing is always our entity IMPL only, EVO stuff, OA entity IMPL.
Oh,
But if
oh,
PL SQL is
okay.
involved, then use OA PL SQL entity.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So as of now, we exactly know how to we call a procedure. But in the next, in the next session, what we do is we'll discuss about how do we call a function, and also we'll discuss about how do we call a SQL query. Because sometimes if you're working in a CO extension in those kind of scenarios, you will not have any control. Let us say you want to call a validation method. If you're working on an extension, you want to call a validation method based on a PL SQL logic or maybe SQL logic. So we don't prefer to create a VIVO dynamically. That is not at all a preferred one. Nothing but we just need to call a SQL query. So we have another API called prepared statement to call the SQL query.
Okay.
So the same way we have callable statement, right? Callable statement is for the PL SQL and prepared statement is for the SQL query, normal plain SQL query.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we'll see these logics, and after that we'll discuss about how do we invoke AOL components from the OAF. Like when you say AOL component, it can be message, lookup, flex fields, concurrent programs, and of course
Okay.
we'll see the XML report integration also. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Okay, Sri.
Yeah. Okay for today then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Sri.
Yeah. Bye.
Oh, yeah. Bye.